be easy. Because the last time I checked, education was all about training the mind to grow, not replacing it with Wi-Fi and a chatbot.
But then you realize that this same set of students are scoring 0. Why? This is because they did not go through the process of learning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's argumentative debate, or let me target opposition argumentative debate, because you're all going to debate on the same side of argument. So it's going to be a little bit complex. However, today promised to be a wonderful one. But before I roll out the rules of engagement, I would like to appreciate the CEO and the team from EduTV. It is a privilege to sit here to be the chief judge of today's debate. I also want to, as well, give kudos to your coaches, the teachers. Can we please jam our hands together for our teachers? It is not easy to package such debate like this, and this is between two international schools that are well known and recognized, not just in Osun State, I believe in the whole of Nigeria. Please jam your hands together for both Kunike International School and Lead British International. Is that what your schools deserve? Is that the applause the school deserves? All right, so before we begin, let me roll out the rules for today's debate. Let me start with the time allotted for each speakers. Please, you have to ensure you stay or you present your arguments based on the time factor allotted for you. The chief speakers will have 5 minutes to present their arguments, and the supporting speakers will have 3 minutes to present their own argument as well. But here lies where the competitiveness begins, and that is the rebuttal stage. However, you have 3 minutes for this stage as well to present your argument. Here you're allowed to identify the weakness of your co-debaters and then give us reasons why we should agree with your position. Do you understand? We have different scoring for different items on the criteria here. Let me quickly roll out some. To show your understanding of today's motion, you have 10 marks. To show the strength of your arguments against this motion, it takes 25 marks. So you must ensure you do well in strengthening your arguments. Ensure you give us evidences, examples, and facts related to what we have today. These are things that will help you to score higher. Then your organization and structure takes 10 marks. Your critical thinking and originality. By originality, we meant that it's not that you just come here and merely repeat points. Do you understand me? You have to be deliberate in any point you're going to present here. You have to present evidences and the likes. So these, among many others, are our judging criteria, and I wish you guys all the best. Now, please, we must ensure we maintain decorum. no interruption. Please, the audience members, I would like us to maintain absolute silence because we're here to learn. Just as the anchor, or let me say Thank you. So just as the moderator rightly stated that the topic is on artificial intelligence, I believe this is what we have trending nowadays in the world general, not just in Nigeria. So this topic cannot be overemphasized. So we are here to learn, and I believe your presentation here will definitely be a worthwhile for everyone present today. So once again, welcome to today's debate. I wish you the very best in your presentation. So let the debate begin. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Chief Judge. We appreciate everything. Now, without wasting our time, who is to start first? All right, the Chief Speaker, British International. So welcome, Dixon, to come and give us what he has to tell us concerning the topic for today. Please put your hands together as I welcome Dixon to the high table.
Albert Einstein, a scientist that fundamentally revolutionized our understanding of time, space, and gravity, once said, "Education is not the learning of facts, but training of the mind to think." But if education is truly the training of the mind to think, what happens when thinking itself has been outsourced to artificial intelligence? Good day, Chief Judge, respected moderators, teachers, students, members of the media team, and everybody else present. I am Kunike Dixon, a proud Year 11 student of Lead British International School, and I'm here to answer the question, is artificial intelligence more beneficial or harmful to secondary school students in the process of learning? No, artificial intelligence is more harmful. Before I dive into my points, I would like you to understand what artificial intelligence truly is. Artificial intelligence refers to the computer systems capable of performing tasks that require human intelligence, such as problem solving and language generation. The problem for us today is not whether artificial intelligence is more impressive or produces impressive answers. No, the problem set before us today is whether artificial intelligence actually makes us students intelligent human beings. First, let's be honest with ourselves. Artificial intelligence is not just helping students. It is encouraging a culture of shortcuts. Students are no longer ready to think deeply. They're no longer ready to struggle with questions long enough to actually grow. Now we just go to ChatGPT, copy, paste, and submit, and then we get an A-star. Wonderful. A whole generation becoming academically successful without actually academically developing. And before my proposition says, artificial intelligence makes learning easy. Since when was learning meant to be easy? Because the last time I checked, education was all about training the mind to grow, not replacing it with Wi-Fi and a chatbot. Another problem we face with artificial intelligence in the educational sector is artificial intelligence destroys critical thinking and encourages cognitive dependency. Scientists call this cognitive offloading, which means allowing the machine to think for you. Of course, this is convenient. Why spend hours analyzing a poem when ChatGPT can do that in 5 seconds? Why practice essay writing when ChatGPT can just generate one for you? Why try solving a math equation when ChatGPT can just give you the answer as 6 or 7? But there's a problem. Learning takes place when there is effort put in, when there is confusion, when there is correction, when there is repetition, when there is deep thinking. The struggle is not the problem. The struggle is the learning. Research relating to MIT Media Labs showed that students who heavily relied on artificial intelligence had lower brain engagement and weaker retentive memory compared to students who did their work independently. Another research done that required students writing essays with the assistance of artificial intelligence showed that over-reliance on artificial intelligence caused lower critical engagement and deep memory processing. In simple terms, students don't apparently remember what they learned from artificial intelligence. 75% of students agreed to using artificial intelligence as of 2024. So let us be honest with ourselves. Students are no longer submitting assignments. They are submitting ChatGPT prompts. Is that learning or intellectual outsourcing? And before my preposition says, artificial intelligence makes work faster. It makes work more efficient. Well, steroids may help an athlete build muscles faster too. That doesn't make efficiency suddenly justifiable. They might say, AI is just a tool. But ladies and gentlemen, a tool is meant to assist thinking, not replace it. A calculator might help you solve a problem, but cannot attend class for you. So if AI is doing the summarizing, the analyzing, the writing, and even emotionally thinking for students, what exactly are students left to do? Press enter? With all I've said, I urge the House to strongly reject the dangerous illusion that artificial intelligence is more beneficial. Because if we continue allowing students to outsource their thinking to AI, one day we might be able to raise a generation that can prompt anything except their own minds. Thank you.
Dixon, you got me. Wow. That's a beautiful one. Thank you very much. Now let's move next. Contestants, the Chief Justice, the Chief Speaker, Kunike International School. So welcome, Princess. Am I correct? Princess. Hi. Farida. Please pardon me. You're welcome.
Over the past century, artificial intelligence has made its way into assisting man with his daily activities. But just like many other inventions of man, artificial intelligence also has dire consequences. Good day, panel of judges, accurate timekeepers, coders, Mr. Chairman, and my dear audience. My name is Farida, a student of Kunike International School, and the motion before us today says, is artificial intelligence more beneficial or harmful to secondary school students in the learning process? I stand here to oppose this motion by saying that it is more harmful than beneficial. Artificial intelligence, commonly known as AI, is the ability of machines and computer systems to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. It was developed in 1956 by a scientist called John McCourt during the Dartmouth Conference, and ever since the 21st century, it has been popularly known. Now, what are these factors that lead to it being more harmful than beneficial? Artificial intelligence destroys critical thinking. Education is not just about getting the correct answer, but about understanding how to arrive at that answer. AI removes this process, handing students ready-made answers, leaving their brains unused and underdeveloped. And I ask you, what will happen to a generation that cannot think for itself? Should I give an example of a young man from the university who was denied of his degree because he used AI to answer his project? AI leads to overdependence. What happens when there is no light and no electricity? Students feel confused and unable to function. This is simply a weakness disguised as convenience. AI leads to demoralization. Students nowadays are easy to persuade. Just use the right words. Geoffrey Hinton said, "I fear that the very young will be manipulated into doing things that are persuasive." AI leads to false identity. Some students are seen in class as being smart and intelligent, but when they get to examination halls, where there is no access to AI and no access to examination malpractice, their true colors are seen. Let me ask you all a question. How many of you have experienced in class whereby a teacher walks in and gives you an assignment, and then a group of students score everything, but then the next day, this same question is used as a pop quiz or a snap test? But then you realize that this same set of students are scoring 0. Why? This is because they did not go through the process of learning. AI hands them ready-made answers, and this is not true education. AI can be biased. If students in Nigeria ask AI biology or agri questions, AI will simply give them examples based on where the person who inputted the information in it is from, leaving the students more confused. If AI is used to grade students, it can grade them according to their gender or their race. AI leads to depression. It reduces peer and family influence among students, making them feel more secluded. Should I give an example of a young boy from Florida who committed suicide after having a deep relationship with an AI bot? Or should I give an example of a young girl who killed herself after getting guidelines on how to kill herself from an AI bot? Just imagine yourself as a parent watching your child commit suicide because of an ordinary bot instead of studying. AI cannot be used to teach students some particular subject in a practical sense. For example, subjects like woodwork, electric and electronic studies cannot be taught to students by AI in a practical sense. It can teach you the theoretical aspect, but it will never be able to teach you the practical aspects. Ladies and gentlemen, it was man who inputted knowledge into AI, man who taught, man who reasoned critically, man who gave these answers independently. Now imagine our world 20 to 40 years from now, if the use of AI is not checked in the learning process of secondary school students. We would be living in a world of no new inventions. Ladies and gentlemen, education is a journey that requires steps. If students use AI to answer every question that is thrown to them, they will be making little use of their intellectual. Are we supposed to be going forward or backwards in the use of our brain? I leave this question for you to answer. I hope with these few points of mine, I have been able to prove to you that artificial intelligence is undoubtedly more harmful than beneficial to secondary school students in the learning process. Thank you.
It's getting hotter. You also got me wow. I leave the judges to give their reports. Now we'll move to the supporting speaker, lead British International School. So welcome her for our own point of view. Please clap for her, Miriam.
Good day, honorable judges, respected panel of adjudicators, my worthy opponents, my distinguished audience. If education is meant to uplift every student equally, then why are we embracing a system that clearly leaves so many behind? I, Ayebola Mariam Ojojobi, stand before you as the second speaker for the opposition to answer the question, is artificial intelligence more beneficial or harmful to secondary school students in the process of learning? I'm here to say no. It's more harmful than beneficial. The affirmative team wanted to believe that AI is a great equalizer, a tool that bridges gaps and democratizes education. I'm here to expose the reality. AI does not bridge gaps, it widens them, while simultaneously stripping humanity out of our classrooms. First, the claim that AI provides super tutors for everyone is fundamentally flawed. In reality, high-tier, unbiased AI is often hidden behind paywalls. This creates a dangerous two-tier system. Wealthy schools and students can afford premium AI subscriptions with advanced capabilities, while marginalized students are left with inferior, ad-supported versions or nothing at all. This makes the digital divide permanent and irreversible. Second, these AI models are not objective. They carry the basis of their training data. When a student relies on AI for historical analysis or social studies, they are often receiving a narrow biased worldview that reinforces stereotypes rather than expanding their cultural perspectives. Algorithmic bias in an educational system can significantly impact the student's outcome, often perpetuating existing discrimination. A student from a minority background may receive different educational recommendations than a privileged peer, all because an algorithm was trained on biased data. We are not democratizing education, we are automating inequality. Moreover, education at a school is a deeply relational process. It is built on mentorship. The affirmative team speaks of 24/7 support, but a machine cannot provide true support. It lacks the empathy and emotional intelligence of a teacher who knows a student's home life, their personal struggles, or when they just need someone to believe in them. Education is not merely about access to answers, it's about guidance, self-discipline, character formation, qualities no algorithm can replicate. With AI, education becomes a prompt-to-result transaction, and the intrinsic motivation to actually understand a subject disappears. We are creating a hollow echo chamber of machines talking to machines, while the student remains unguided and truly unseen. Furthermore, this dynamic breeds a profound erosion of trust. Teachers are increasingly suspicious of students' work, constantly policing for AI plagiarism, while the student feels their authentic efforts are being undervalued. This adversarial environment is toxic to genuine learning. A chatbot cannot look a student in the eye and say, "I believe in you, try again." AI cannot build character, resilience, or strong values. It can only process data. You cannot replace the human spark with a silicon chip. In conclusion, honorable judges, this debate is not about whether technology is impressive or not. It's about whether it's truly equitable and beneficial. AI does not level the playing field, it tilts it further. It does not remove bias, it reinforces it. And most critically, it does not enhance the human education, it diminishes it. For these reasons, we urge you to reject the motion because of the future of education must remain human-centered and machine-dependent. Thank you.
I'm speechless. On the way to hear from the older contestants, please put your hands together so welcome Princess, the supporting speaker from Kunike.
Can a machine truly replace the power of a human mind? This simple rhetorical question brings us to the heart of it. Good day, the moderator, panel of judges, accurate timekeepers, co-debaters, respected teachers, and my fellow students. My name is Ayodele Adetikisha Omoreo, a student representative of Kunike International School, and I stand before you in addition to what my colleague has said to explain to you on the dangers of artificial intelligence on secondary school students. Firstly, artificial intelligence undermines the intellectual confidence of a particular student. Education tells students that they can succeed through their own personal efforts. Each time a student solves a question correctly in class, they build their confidence, but when time they use artificial intelligence to write a test, to answer an assignment, they start to doubt their own ability. However, each time a student uses AI, they believe that a simple machine is smarter than them. Ladies and gentlemen, is that true education? Certainly not. Second, education, AI leads to deception of students. It is deceptional when a student uses artificial intelligence to write his programs instead of thinking critically and understanding the concept of that particular topic. This limits their potentials and their growth, and students cannot determine their areas of weaknesses and their areas of strengths. Recently, the West African Examination Council, WAEC, has sent a circular to secondary schools to inform them not to use artificial generated answers to write their tests. If the highest examination body in Africa should abolish the use of artificial intelligence, why should us secondary school students encourage it? Artificial intelligence reduces the vision and ambition of secondary school students. Each and every one of us seated here has a dream to succeed, and a dream to make our nation proud, and a dream to become nation builders. But when we solely depend on artificial intelligence, who will become the next line of Elon Musk? Who will be Mark Zuckerberg? Who will be people that thought critically to provide these things that we are enjoying? Education is said to be the movement of light from darkness to light. Solely depend on artificial intelligence, we are moving from darkness into darkness. It is pathetic that this artificial intelligence brought up generation will train future leaders. If the use of artificial intelligence is not properly checked in secondary school, we are destroying our future. Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you today, let's make sure that we stop using artificial intelligence. We are destroying our nation. Thank you very much. And I hope with these few validating points of mine, I have been able to ascertain confeasibility that artificial intelligence is more harmful than beneficial to secondary school students in the learning process. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aljoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please jam our hands together once again for these scholars? It is not easy to come here to speak on such a topic confidently. Now we are moving to the final round, or the final part of today's debate, which is the rebuttal stage. Now, need I remind you that you need to do well in this aspect, though it's going to be just for 3 minutes. Either of the speakers can come forward for this round. It could be the chief speaker, it could be the supporting speaker. Whoever it is you agreed to take the stage will have the microphone. Now, please ensure you stick to rebuttal. You can decide to think about what somebody that is affirming this topic will say concerning the topic, and you can decide to look at the strength of your opponent's argument. When you discover any weakness in any of your co-debaters' arguments, you can decide to establish that and re-emphasize why we should stick to your own argument. I believe you understand. But in doing this, be conscious of your time. Thank you very much. Can we have the speaker from Lead British International? Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Miriam.
Honorable judges, distinguished audience, I will now respond to the arguments presented by the affirmative team. First, they claim that AI provides super tutors for everyone. However, a machine processing data is not a tutor. True personalization requires emotional intelligence, empathy, and a deep understanding of a student's home life concepts. Qualities exclusive to human teachers. A real tutor celebrates your struggles and teaches you resilience. A chatbot just gives you the answer. Second, they argue that artificial intelligence prepares students for the future tech-driven workplace. While this may sound appealing, in reality, the future tech-driven workplace will not need humans who act like machines. They will need humans who can think critically, solve complex problems, and demonstrate emotional intelligence. By outsourcing our thinking to AI now, we are failing to develop the exact human qualities that will be irreplaceable in the future. You cannot engineer a good prompt if you do not understand the underlying subject matter. Finally, they argue that AI provides misinformation, but that teaches critical thinking. My honorable judges, this is a very dangerous argument. Secondary school students are still learning how to decipher truth from fiction. By deliberately introducing misinformation into their learning, we are not teaching critical thinking, we are creating confusion. A teacher should provide students with reliable information and teach them how to verify sources properly, not expose them to a black box that hallucinates facts. In conclusion, honorable judges, while the affirmative may paint artificial intelligence as a solution, a closer examination reveals that it is not. It weakens critical thinking, creates confusion, and undermines the human essence in education. For these reasons, we firmly oppose the motion. Thank you.
That was a beautiful one from late British International School, Miriam. Thank you very much. As a welcome, who is coming from Kunike? All right, Farida, you're welcome.
Some people may say that it is the misuse of AI that is harmful, not the use. But you cannot misuse what you do not use. One who does not drink alcohol cannot be accused of drunkenness. One who does not drive cannot drive recklessly. From the British International School, she said that AI cannot understand students' emotional struggles. When he said that AI helps students with the emotional aspects of their life, these contradict each other in so many ways. But the reality is that AI cannot have emotional feelings. It is only a robot. Thank you.
All right. Do you want to add something? You have something to say? Right? Hold on. Let me hear from the judges. Oh, she can. All right. You're welcome.
A question may arise from my co-debaters that what is the probability of both of us not using artificial intelligence to write up this speech? But the truth is that if artificial intelligence undergoes a plagiarism test, it will also fail because it has been discovered and learned that artificial intelligence adapts answers and information from that which human beings wrote critically. A human being that thought critically, that burnt the midnight candle to write that particular answer. So that's why in every aspect and area of our life, human intelligence will always be overemphasized than artificial intelligence because it is more beneficial than artificial intelligence. Thank you all. God bless you.
You're welcome. You look happy. Are we tired? Now let's hear from our judges. Oh, do you have anything to say? Dixon, right? 1 minute.
The affirmative side may paint artificial intelligence as a mere educational tool. But ladies and gentlemen, a tool is meant to assist thinking, not replace it. That's why if you go to ChatGPT and ask it, give it a prompt, its initial reply is thinking, which means you're not the one thinking, the chat is thinking for you. So where is learning in this process? They may say artificial intelligence helps students in struggle, but ladies and gentlemen, a struggling student needs a teacher that understands their circumstances, not a chatbot that will give surface level answers. They may also say AI makes education easier and faster, but ladies and gentlemen, we must not confuse efficiency with intelligence. We all have said, my answer remains no. Artificial intelligence is more harmful than beneficial in the process of learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, judges, can we give them some minutes?
I'd like to say that the two groups today have done excellently well, and all the speakers are worthy of commendation. Please put your hands together for them. Yeah, I was highly impressed. Okay, so without wasting our time, I'd like to point your attention to one or two things. All right. One of you, I don't know if I should say this in pidgin. I don't know what I do you. You came here and greeted only the chief judge. Did I offend you? I don't want to mention names at all, okay? But one of you came and greeted only the chief judge, okay? Then you left me out. Okay, please don't do that next time. So greet all the judges, okay? All right. Having said that, you also pronounce the word Weather, weather, you pronounce it as weather, 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 okay? It is not weather, it is weather, okay? Dental fricative, okay? Voice sound. Then somebody said perform, perform. So the word perform is not perform but perform, okay? Perform. During, not during, okay? You say during the election, not during the election, all right? Example, not example, okay? Example. The same thing goes for examination, okay? Examination, not examination. So please take note of that. Somebody said words instead of words. WORDS, okay? So you say words, not words. Then electric, not electric, okay? Practical, not practical. Theoretical, not theoretical. Journey, not journeying, all right? Education, not education. Subjects, okay, not subjects, Then physically, not physically, all right? Having said that, I must also commend all of you. Wait, what are you clapping for? Wait, all right, I wanted to say that they all, I cherish your level of grammaticality, okay? Your grammar this morning was top notch. Please put your hands together for them this time around. All right. However, I have just two errors here, grammatical errors. One of you said, when a student realize. It should be when a student realizes, okay? The student there is singular, so your verb must also be singular, all right? So please take note of that. Then to answer a assignment, it should be to answer an assignment, okay? It takes the article "an" because the word assignment begins with a vowel letter, okay? A vowel letter. Having said that, honestly, I'm wild. Put your hands together for yourselves once again, please. All right. Then I know the chief judge will still buttress this I'm about to say, but let me just say this as his forerunner. One thing with us at EduTV, we don't have losers. All our contestants are winners. Okay? So for being winners this morning, give yourself a round of applause. Thank you. God bless you.
Can we jam our hands together for them, please, once again? It is not very much easy to present an argument like this before this large number. Kudos to you. This is a work in progress. This is a learning platform, and I want to congratulate you for that intellectual presentation. Now, my co-judge has pointed out some areas that you need to improve upon. Please, I will just dwell on two: your introduction and of course your ending. I would like to quickly point out that some of you, now when we talk about motion is an expression that is written, that we argue about, that is our what? Thesis statement. Now when you want to introduce that, I think I heard somebody or some of the contestants saying that the motion that says, for instance, my name is Olaoni, or I am Olaoni Kehinde Emmanuel. I am here against, or I'm here to negate the motion that says. No, please, motions or motion do not says. So I'm here to argue in support or against the motion. Then you just state the motion, not that says. So can we remove that phrase that says? once we introduce the motion in our subsequent debates. Do you understand? Then finally, I think from the two schools, you're guilty of this. When you say at the end of your debates that I hope with this few points of mine, you have already undermined your presentation. Like, how would you, after that intellectual submission, say with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to know? Do you understand? So please, perhaps you should look for a more appropriate ending instead of using with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to, is it confuse you or convince you that artificial intelligence is more harmful than beneficial to students or secondary school students? Then I was waiting for a kind of maybe everyday scenario. Majority of you will have heard of graduates that are not employable today, right? I believe some of you've heard of this. In fact, I've heard of a youth corps member who couldn't write his name, yet a graduate. Now this is something that AI does to people who over depend on it. Now our argument is to quickly, or let me say our argument or the bone of contention today is to argue that AI is more harmful than beneficial, though it has some advantages when used properly. But at this level of your words, of your learning, this is a time whereby you build what? Your critical thinking. Do you understand? Teamwork. Because if you don't engage in all this, by the time you leave secondary school down to your higher institution and everything, it means that we will produce a graduate that cannot in any way function in the workforce. Do you understand? Reason why today we have this saying from people that we have educated illiterates, because what they are meant to know, they don't know it. AI does everything. So I was waiting for somebody that could make use of maybe something we can relate with. Do you understand? But in all, please jam your hands together for yourselves. You all tried. I would like to hand over to the moderator while we compute our grades and then declare the result. Thank you very much. I would like to announce that from the judges table, I think this has never happened. It is happening for the first time that we have a tie in our analysis. Now both schools accumulated 75.5% each.
Wow, that's a wonderful one.
Now, having discussed with our director and having agreed with my co-judge, I would like to give these two schools two options. You pick one from these two. The first option, convince me why I should declare you today's winner. 2, you're ready to take a question from this table and respond to the question based on today's argument. So which of these options do you prefer?
Do you understand? Do you understand the question? How many minutes? Because you're thinking.
You have 10 seconds to
10
decide.
seconds. Your time is ticking. All right. Should I call Kunike to come up or late British to come up? Yes.
Should we decide for you?
The second option.
The second option? You're going to take a question from us? Okay.
Second option, a question. Right. Who is answering? Or you want to listen to the question first? Chief Judge, they want to listen to the question first, so they will decide who will answer.
All right. So who goes first? Lead British. You can take the podium, please. Yes? The question?
Yeah, they said they want to know the question, so they will decide who will answer.
No. I can't give you the question before you decide. So you have to decide whether to convince me or I should ask the question. So you can take the podium. Please, Okay, you want to decide who is coming up?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Now the question is, with a comprehensive discourse. Okay, let me not complicate the question. In a simple term, what do you think we can do to save this generation from becoming victim of what? The negative side of AI. What do you think we can do to save this generation from becoming a victim of the harmful impact of AI to this generation? And you have just a minute to submit.
Do you understand the question?
Yes.
In response to the question thrown at us, research shows that the brain, as of when you're young, keeps the part that is being used. So the part of the brain that is not used is often thrown away when you become an adult. So the best solution is to make age restrictions. For example, the UK is restricting social media for people 18 and below. So we could do the same for AI. Let's restrict AI to maturity. People must have developed their fundamentals and understand the basics of subjects before they have access to AI. So we all have said, I hope you understand my point of view.
Awesome. Kunike. Is it a question or a question? The same question.
Well, he talked about making legislations against age, but the truth is that anybody can just fake a age. That's why you have to use what you call parental guidance. There are many prime ministers now that use parental guidance against a particular child. That means the parent is entitled to lock the particular child. That means that this age legislation cannot work in a country like Nigeria. That's why parental guidance is the best and most applicable form for us to stop the use of artificial intelligence in Nigeria. If we do this, we'll help our future, we'll help our nation, and we'll help nation development. Thank you all. God bless you.
Applaud her, please.
Hello, debaters. All right, thank you for that submission. Now I would like to beg the audience indulgence, please. Sorry for this. Now, both presentation is still a tie from our end. Somebody talked about parental restriction and age restriction as well. Now, need I put this to you that I can argue against both points presented at this stage. Let me start with age restriction. We are in a digital world now, so I can argue that if you restrict children from maybe age 0 to 16 that you'll be done with secondary school from using AI, there is every possibility you might not be relevant in the nearest future. Because those that will be relevant in the nearest future are those who can operate and control AI. Now the world is going AI now. So whether we like it or not, AI has some advantages and benefits. So if we place age restriction, when are we to introduce this to our children? This same point or this same question goes to those who claim that parental restriction should be imposed as well. All right, now with this, after discussing with the CEO EduTV, we would like to bring this debate to an end. So I am, like our moderator said earlier, that we don't have a winner, we don't have a loser. Now we have never had a tie and live with a tie. So with this, I would like to declare Kunike International High School, Kunike International, right? And Lead British International as today's winners. So you're both winners.
You're both winners.
We are going to make a presentation to that effect, but please, you have to pardon us. We're going to present to just a school today, and the next presentation will be for the second school. We will visit your school and do the presentation. So I hereby declare both schools winners of today's debates. Now please, I want to give you a reason why you should jam your hands together for these two schools, because these two schools decide to take the bold step to compete in this debate. Initially we were expecting 10 schools, but need I remind you that it is a welcome idea that you took this step to present this, and I am not in any way regretting that we declare both schools winners of today's debate. So ladies and gentlemen, with this we've come to the end of today's debate. Thank you. Let me hand over to the moderator.
Wow, for the first time we are having ties in this EduTV debating competition. Now we appreciate Lead British International School. You did awesomely well. Dixon and Miriam, I love your speech. I love the way you present yourself, your charisma, your pronunciation of words is a top notch. God bless you. And I appreciate your teachers. That's a wonderful one. And to Kunike International School, you did awesomely well. I marveled. Thanks for this. And we appreciate you. And I appreciate your teachers for doing a job well done. Now, without wasting our time, I would like to welcome the head of school, Lead British International School. The CEO of EduTV. Please applaud as a welcome him to the podium. Mr. Oluwafemi. Please applaud him. Please applaud him. God bless you, sir. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you very much. I would like to appreciate all our contestants today. They have actually done well. So once again, I want to congratulate you for being the winners. And also Lead British International School, I want to congratulate you for winning this debate. Two of you are all winners. Once again, congratulations. Congratulations. Please, can you celebrate all of them? So we'd like to present their gift and certificate of participation, and for them, because of our time, we have to be very quick with this. I would like to, from Adet Tikisha Omerewu, Do I pronounce that right? Okay, please, can we? All right, once I would like to present this to Okunla Farida. So I would like to present this certificate to Ode Jobi Mayor. Also, Akon Dixon. Please, a round of applause for him. Also, we have this gift from KGI York and EduTV. Please, like to invite the two contestants from Lead British. Please come and have this. No, please come. Yes. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's have. Wait today, sorry. Okay, let's invite Kunike participants. No, this one. This debate. All right. Okay, thank you. On this note, we would like to draw up the curtain of today's event. Thank you very much for coming. We have come to the end of this. We'd like to, I think we have one, so let's present this to Lead British International School. I would like to have this. I would like to present this to Lead British International School. We'll also present yours, who come to your school. All right, thank you very much. Can I have two of you together? Okay. Me too, all right. Sorry. Okay. Hold it, hold it. All right. You can. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. So we will actually come to present for Kunike Int'l School. Thank you very much. So we didn't know that this is going to be a break ties, and this is the first time we have this in EduTV. And as we said, they are all winners. Once again, congratulations. So we have come to the end of this event today. Please jam your hands together for yourself for being partaker attending today's event. Thank you very much. God bless you. So we would like to have a photograph with the schools together. Yeah, and also with the judges. Thank you. So we have come to the end of the event.